Hello you guys, thank you so much again for watching. And today I just want to share a testimony, and I was just reflecting on it because the other day I was watching this animated movie on Disney called Forward. And the reason that I reflect on it is because I was reminded of the scripture in John, actually, where Jesus told Peter to step out of the boat, and he actually stepped out of the boat. Things only turned out the other way when he began to doubt once he's out of the boat. And just a few years ago, to start my story, I think it's about 10 years ago actually, on this particular day, and this happened when I had just come back from Miss Humanity International, which was held in Barbados, and had just come back. The year was beginning, and you can imagine I thought my year was actually going to be very different, and I had already planned some projects on what I was going to be involved in, but as it turned out, things didn't actually go the way that I wanted them to go, by the way. And things were just turning the other direction. I just had a hype of the year before, and at around this time in February, I could actually see, in February, that's when you see the direction of whatever plans that you had, whether they're taking the positive side or you need to redirect yourself. So I just remember on this particular day, waking up, because that was quite a dry season in my life at that particular time, and I can talk about that dry season some other time. But I just remember waking up. It was a Thursday when I woke up. I just got out of my bed and I was like, I'm going to school. And I felt it in me that I'm just going to school. And what I did, I remember driving to my brother's place and asking my sister, who's a grade keeper of stuff for my university letter. I had applied the year before, and I was like, I'm going to school. I was like, isn't it late? And I was like, maybe, but let me just go for it. So I remember the first thing that I did was call in school and tell them that, you know what, I'm admitted and I'm coming to school. Is my spot still in? Can I still come? And they were like, it's a bit late. People have been in their studies for a few weeks now, but if you make it here by Monday, we'll see what we can do. So I was like, okay, fine. I was running around. I don't have money. I don't have the means of going to school at this time, but I just felt it in me that I'm going to school. I just started running around town, and I was going to Manpower looking for funding. And we all know, if you still have some, if you still don't have your money paid, all paid, you cannot get the funding. So it was just like, what am I going to do now? I just remember looking at all the cards that I had in my wallet. I had this wallet where I just kept cards. I started going through cards in my wallet of who do I know? I mean, who can I call? And I started calling like even bigger companies. Some of them invited me in to hear my story, but I got nothing from them. And I started writing from minister to minister to ask, because I was like, this is who I am, and I need to go to school. And by the way, I consider myself a shy person, but at this particular time I needed to step out. I just felt like I'm going to tell them about myself. I need help. I'm just going to school. And then there was this other businessman that I found, who I had worked with in some rural projects before. I had worked with their company in some rural projects before, and I found his card, and I called in, and I think he's the one who just responded and just said, I'm sorry, I'm out of the country right now, but if you make it to my office on Monday, we can talk about it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, Monday, I need to start going. But I took him at his word. I remember on Saturday, I made him a message. I was like, sir, this is me. I'm just reminding you and letting you know that you said that we're going to meet on Monday. So I'll be at your office at 8 a.m. in the morning. And I'm sure he got that message. And to cut the long story short, on Monday, I was there with my sister, who was actually just there for moral support and to just support me with the Manpower payment and think with me on how we're going to really get this done. And she's seated there praying, not knowing what's going to happen. And she looks at me, she sees that I'm so hopeful, and she doesn't want to shatter my faith. So I remember just going up, and by this time I had rehearsed all weekend on what I'm going to say to this to this business guy, and I haven't really got the right words to speak to him, because I can't promise him that I'll go to school and then I'll come and work for your company, because my course is totally different from what his business is about. I mean, I'm a biomedical technologist, he's a man in business, and they get nothing in relating to it. So I've just been rehearsing, how am I going to present myself, what am I going to say? And I just remember going into his office in the morning. I got to the reception, and the lady at the reception was like, okay, yeah, he's expecting you. And I was like, okay. And I got him there, I was like, sir, good morning. And that's all that I said. And he went, okay, so you're going to Joburg? I'm like, yes, I am. I'm going to study biomedical science. And he was just like, okay, here's your tuition. Good luck. Okay. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, thank you. I walked out of that office in awe at God using somebody to actually come and step out for my faith. And I realized that even before we could start doing anything, God has already lined up some things for you. You might be that guy, you might be this businessman who actually assisted me, and God might be telling you, give somebody some help, and you need to obey the word, because that was my miracle that day. To cut the long story short, I was running up and down trying to get my study permits, trying to get my medical forms and everything that is required. You know what it is. And 5 p.m. on Monday, guys, I woke up and put my feet on the ground, saying that I'm going to school on Thursday. At 5 p.m. on Monday, I was crossing the border driving to Johannesburg. Let me tell you an interesting story. As much as we are so close to Johannesburg, I've just been driven in and out. I had not really driven around Joburg by myself. And I realized that just after crossing the border to school, I just knew that I'm going to the University of UJ, and I'm in University of Johannesburg, and I need to be going. And I remember thinking of this friend of mine who was actually assisting me when I was applying for school. I was like, I'm going to Joburg. I actually even don't know where I'm going to be staying. What's happening? And he was like, what? Are you serious? And to cut the long story short as well, at 10:30 p.m. on that Monday, I was in my room. I was in my room at the apartment that I had to stay in, which was a good apartment at the University of Johannesburg, and ready to go to school. And interestingly, I can leave this behind even as I'm telling this story. On the day after that, the day after I arrived, I went to school. And I remember the class that I was in, they had practicals on that day. And there was this lecturer who realized when he came into his class, into his laboratory, that there's an extra person in here. And oh my God, he was pissed. He was not happy at all. He was like, no, how could this be happening? This course is so difficult. I need you to have started the work with me. You're not gonna fail, you're not gonna make it. And I was sitting there thinking, oh man, you don't know what I had to go through to be here. I mean, that doesn't really bother me. It doesn't bother me how you feel, because you don't know what God moved for me to be here. So the rest is history, you guys. So I wanted to share this testimony to say that if you have an instinct that there's something that you need to do, go for it. Stop thinking logically about some stuff. Because if you ever think and start counting on what you have, you'll never really get to the dream that God has put in your heart. If God is asking you to step out of the boat, step out of the boat, just step out of the boat. And I think some things that a lot of people have kept saying over and over is that we overshare sometimes. So if you've shared with people who are negative, who do not believe with where God is taking you, it might bring some doubts. And we all know what doubt did to Peter. He started sinking. So jump into that boat. Jump out of that boat and start doing something right now, because there's something that you would feel, which is a rhythm with what you want, the rhythm of your goals, and with something that you have to do. So this is just me sharing this testimony, saying that if you have the dream, if you have the instinct of moving, move, because God is going to put a block or a step in front of you once you let go of your leg. Once you let go, just let go, and God will do the rest. Thank you for listening.